I really think this is the next step in spray technology and managing weeds. So the Natural Resource Conservation Service is part of the U.S. Department of Agriculture. When the Soil Conservation District applied for the grant with NRCS, we partnered with Nez Perce County to get the grant.
We were using a drone to fly crops and try to identify weeds and maybe try to figure out a more efficient, innovative way to scout fields and make recommendations for a farmer.
Tom Vestal with Nez Perce County took on the role of flying the drone and processing the data.
So a little over 3 years ago, Lynn approached me about doing some research for this grant, and we went from there. We ended up going with 2 different sensors. One, we knew we wanted, some good video footage as well as a good still camera. So we went with the ZenMuse X7 from DJI. It works fantastic for that, but we also needed a multispectral for the different reflectance values of the different plants. And with the multispectral, we went with MicaSense Ultim. It is a 6-band camera, red, green, blue for regular color imagery, as well as near infrared and red edge, and also has a thermal band as well. So in the spring of 2020, there was still snow on the ground, terrible weather, so we couldn't actually test it out and fly it for a few months after we got it.
The timing of it all is really complex to get usable data that we can use to make decisions off of.
One of the issues is you already have a canopy of wheat before the weeds ever start popping up. And that was part of the problem with trying to be able to see them from even the bird's eye view there with the drone. So it might have worked a little better if it was done on spring crops. And that way you didn't have that canopy of wheat, and perhaps that spring wheat is growing along with the weeds, and you'd be able to see all the species and be able to get a different reflectance value for each. It's a lot of data to process. It takes about 4 hours to process all the different bands of the multispectral, and that's for a 10-acre plot. We had 4 different plots, so already we're up to 16 hours. And if you start thinking about a large application, you start talking about 80-acre, 100-acre fields, then it's going to be a crazy amount of processing. It really opened up a lot of avenues for us. So we're already seeing that technology be improved, and this might become feasible in a short period of time.
So we learned that technology isn't quite where we want to be yet at this point in time. It was really great to get the drone out there and fly over the fields and try to identify the weeds so we can spot treat things out there or figure out what weeds we need to spray for across the whole field. I think the technology is going to get there at some point in time. It's just not there yet. Hopefully this is something people will be able to pick up where we left off on.